Let's get into this last topic. Putin's extremely embarrassing parade, it seems like, that he had and everything like that. I don't know why. I guess I could understand if you were trying to show your military strength through a military parade. But if you only bring in one tank, if your military is not looking that strong, it's not a good look and everything like that. And it seems like that's kind of the situation that Putin has found himself in. We all thought this war was going to be a clean sweep. We thought this was going to be a 4-0 run, you could say, in basketball. You know what I'm saying? And everything. A 21 skunk, you could almost call it, and everything like that. But Ukraine put out a fight. Shout out to them, with the help of the American dollars, who have absolutely no money to spend. And our recession has gotten worse because of this war. But you know what I'm saying? If we're taking America out of it and everything like that, Ukraine has put up an excellent fight. We all thought it was going to be a clean sweep, a very small country and everything like that. So shout out to the Ukrainian people for sure. It really shows the strength of their people and everything like that. I don't know if the U.S. would be able to get their people behind it like that, because we're very split. We're very separated in the way that we think. And, you know, while we do have a lot of nationalists, we kind of don't, you know? But let's go ahead and get into it. Now, it says Putin's one-tank military parade was an embarrassment for Russia, analysts say. Let me take a sip. Here's the parade right now. Here's their one tank that they had. I might have to ask my dad about this. My dad was actually a tank commander. It always seems weird to me. I guess, oh yeah, tanks do have to be able to, you know, aim their guns in the air. It just seems weird that the guns pointed like in the air to me, but it makes sense, you know, you kind of shoot a little. But hey, I'm getting off topic. Now, it says Russia's scaled down Victory Day military parade showed not only Moscow's insecurities over possible Ukrainian attacks, but also highlighted the country's depleted military resources due to the conflict, political analysts say. May 9th is a public holiday in Russia. Oh, so they really didn't have a choice but to throw this parade. That makes a lot more sense. I was thinking Vladimir decided to show his people the strength of Russia and came out with one tank. But no, that's not the case. It commemorates the Soviet Union's victory over Nazi Germany in World War II. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this word in YouTube. It is arguably the most important day in Russia's public calendar in history, forming a central part of the country's modern national identity. Okay. Interesting. Now we're learning a little about Russia. And guys, you know, don't hate on Russia because of the moves that their government makes. You know, there's a lot of great Russian people out here and everything like that, for sure. And a lot of the Russian people, I'm sure, probably wanted no parts in this war, and they're just kind of there for the ride. They're just like, this is what we're doing right now. This is what we got going on right now. Kind of like the U.S. and Afghanistan. A lot of us were like, we'd rather have our family like at home. We don't even really know why we're out there. Like, what does this have to do with us? You know, I feel like a lot of Russians probably feel that same type of way. I don't feel like the average Russian living in Russia really has beef with Ukraine. Kind of like how Russian and Ukraine have a very, you know, dirty history, I guess you could call it. Now it says this year's military parade through Red Square in Moscow and celebrations around the country were noticeably smaller than in previous years or entirely canceled, with 6 regions, including annexed Crimea, and at least 20 cities halting their commemorations. Now it says in Moscow on Tuesday, the military parade was somewhat more downbeat, with no fly past or Immortal Regiment processions, which are usually large-scale public events to commemorate those, you know, in World War II. There were also far fewer troops and military hardware on show than in previous years, which, I mean, it makes sense, guys. They're going through a war. It makes sense. But, hey, if you're on the other side, you get to roast. You get to be like, look at Russia. You're not looking, you're hurt by this war, aren't you? Why don't you stop it? Why don't you stop the attacks? You know what I'm saying? Hey. You know, this is the time where you get to kind of make fun of your enemy, where you get the ha, like Lil Durk, if you guys don't know, ha. You know, that's kind of what we're looking like take the dub, guys. Take the W, guys. For all my guys in Russia, if anybody in Russia is checking this out, I'm sorry you gotta deal with all this, you know what I'm saying, everything. This is just you know, the Ukrainian America ha moment. You know. Now it says the fact that only one Stalin era tank. Okay, so these tanks are from Stalin, so they're old. They weren't gonna be in it anyway. was on display. So where are the other ones? I'm sure they're not sending Stalin era tanks into a modern day war. So where were the other ones? Or maybe there aren't any other ones. It was eye-catching. It would be hard to imagine a more fitting symbol of Russia's declining military fortunes than the sight of a solitary Staten-era tank trudging across Red Square during the country's traditional Victory Day celebrations. You know, for the past 2 decades, Putin has used Victory Day to showcase modern Russia's resurgence as a military superpower with dozens of the very latest tanks typically taking part in the latest parade. That's what I'm saying. The parade like this is you show your country, look at our military strength, look how strong we are. You know, like don't you love that this is your country, you know, and everything like that. But when you pull out and you see one old tank, you're like, dang, like we about to lose this war. Like like geez, y'all ain't have 5 tanks, like dusty tanks back in the vault that y'all could have used. He said this year, the only tank on display was a T-34 model dating back to World War II, which is pretty cool. Let's take a look at it again. Now I do look at it, it does look, yeah, like an older style tank. Now that I actually take a look at it, you know, and everything like that. See, here was the tanks before. These tanks look serious. See, these tanks look scary. Look at this tank versus this tank. Hey, if you were dealing with a tank, would you rather deal with this tank or would you rather deal with this tank? I think we all know the answer to that now. Now, as Dickinson noted, he noted inevitably the embarrassing absence of tanks at this year's Victory Day parade has been widely interpreted as a further evidence of Russia's catastrophic losses in Ukraine. Now it says the ministry noted the makeup of Russia's annual Victory Day parade highlighted the material and strategic communication challenges they're facing 15 months into the war with Ukraine. So we're 15 months into this war. This war that we all thought was essentially we thought this was going to be like a 3-month sweep. Like, honestly, I know, at least as far as Americans, I don't know other people's perceptions from outside. Americans were thinking this was going to be a clean sweep. If you are American and you were thinking this was going to go this long, 15 months, please let me know. And please let me know why you felt that way. Because when you thought about Russia and you thought about Ukraine, you never think about Ukraine as even like a threat. Russia, we think about as our biggest threat. So we just thought if these two threats came together, it would be Russia taking the dub easy. Now it said over 8,000 people took part in the parade, but majority were auxiliary, paramilitary forces and cadets from military training. The only personnel from deployable formations of regular forces were contingents of railway troops and military police and everything like that. Now we're talking about the drone attack on the Kremlin and everything like that. It says that they could have had more armored vehicles, but they refrained from doing so because they wanted to avoid domestic criticism about prioritizing parades over combat operations, which I could see, but I feel like the people 3, 4 tanks, 5 tanks, I don't feel like most people would be like, oh wow, you guys got 3, 4, 5 tanks at this parade, like shouldn't we be fighting on the front lines? I don't think they had to do the most, but 1 tank. I don't know. Let me know what you guys would think about that situation and everything like that. Now, you said Ukraine was quick to make a remark on this. It says the Ukrainian Defense Ministry's official Twitter account quipped that modern Russian military equipment can be found much more easily at Ukrainian military trophy exhibitions than at the victory parade in Moscow, roasting. Pretty much saying, hey, we got all the Russian tanks because we already beat them down. While he said that the whole of Ukraine was laughing at Russia's 1 tank, Ukraine continues to distance itself from Russia's sphere of influence and orbit. And on Tuesday, Zelensky submitted a draft law to the Ukrainian parliament proposing that May 8th be known as the Day of Remembrance and Victory over Nazism and the Second World War rather than May 9th as in Russia and other former Soviet republics. He said now it will be known as Europe Day, with Zelensky noting we will commemorate our historic unity, the unity of all Europeans who destroy Nazism and will defeat Ruskism. Was that like Russian fascism? So he's created a word. I like that. I like that. I like that, and I think that that's a good way to get the Ukrainian people, going for this. They're kind of saying this is a big day for not only the United States, this is a massive day for Ukraine. They get to roast Russia. They have a good reason to roast Russia, and the point that they're even talking about this lets you know they're not scared of Russia anymore. You know what I'm saying? And everything like that. It shows a lot. So let me know what you guys think about this and everything. I want to know what you guys think. Does this actually show that Russia is actually weakening? Or do you guys think this was actually the type of situation where it was like, okay, we're in a war right now. We shouldn't be bringing a bunch of troops, a bunch of artillery and over here presenting it for a parade for our citizens when we're literally in a war. They think that could be a bad look. I would have thought that this would have been a way to show, hey, we're in this war, but hey, we still got our strength. We still got troops on troops on troops. We still got tanks on tanks on tanks, and really show Ukraine like, hey, we're not playing around. We can keep this going if y'all want to keep this going. That's what I would have assumed, but I don't know. I feel like they just made excuses, and that's why they were like, oh, the Russian people didn't want to see tanks and have their parade that they normally have. Big day for Ukraine, big victory for Ukraine. Good day for United States as well. We pouring all this money into Ukraine. We might as well celebrate the benefits too, because our country is going broke. Or no, our country was already broke, and then we were giving billions of dollars to this war, which made us even more broke, which who's going to have to pay for? Where does the United States government get their money, guys? They get it from us. We're paying for it. You know what I'm saying? And everything like that. So let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what you guys think about this. What side are you guys on? Do you guys think Russia was right for, having a scaled down parade? Or should they have really showed their Russian strength? You know what I'm saying? And everything like that. Obviously, this is a W day for Ukrainians. So shout out to the Ukrainian people. They never thought they would have entered this type of war-like situation in the first place. So they deserve this. They deserve a day to finally be happy and try to put at least some of their situation behind them for sure. But thank you to everyone who popped into the stream today. Thank you. Obviously throw likes, comments, subscribes, and everything like that. It definitely helps the channel grow. It helps me make more videos, and it also helps us get more civil discourse. I love when we're all talking about these topics and everything like that, not only on the lives, but also in the comments. The comments can get crazy sometimes, guys. People have opposing opinions. Just keep it respectful. You already know. So I hope you guys all have an absolutely blessed day. And, take a shot, Let's take a sip of beer, And this is shout out Ukraine. And, hey, Russia, you got what was coming for you. So shout out to that. And I hope you guys all have an amazing day.